And hello and welcome to the Second Federation of Central America. This is an introductory video of the Men and Guns pre-release version of this mod, and I'm the developer, of course. In this video I will cover history, focus tree, events, decisions and other gameplay features. First of all, as you can see, we start with the custom bookmark for 1936 and 1939 as well. Here you can see the brief summary of alternative history for this country, and more historic details you can find of course in the idea descriptions and leader descriptions and custom events as well. So let's go and just jump straight in. As you can see, we start with number of nested debuffs, but you will combat them during your playthrough, of course, some introductory stuff. And as you can see, we start with the rather weak army, but we have modest navy, because we of course between two oceans and it is not really smart to not have navy in this region. Right, and so go for the focus tree. And focus tree is the main meat of this mod, because it allows you to react to any political situation wisely or maybe boldly. It depends on your playstyle, of course. And as you can see, the first section is industrial section. This section allows you to combat your Great Depression debuffs and industrialize properly, gain bunch of factories, of course. Not a lot, but much of them, of course, and maybe even helps the Spaniard refugees during the Spaniard Civil War. The second section, this is section about choosing your army doctrine type and gaining basically some really great buffs after you gain some industrial power. Right, so the fun section, actually the third section. Here you choose your early game political buffs, what ideology you want to switch or not want to switch, of course, and later you decide on the fate of the Mexico, how you want to combat them or maybe just straight up integrate them through some political maneuvers. And over here we have support section for possible ideological allies of your country. Over here we have the army tree, and not army only but navy as well, so you choose between them which one of them you would like to buff, of course. And it is not all. Over here we have the main meat of the modification, and here on top you basically choose your main alliances. And of course every section, the democratic, the fascist, the non-aligned and the communist, have their own factions, their own branch and their own decisions to make. Of course this is more like late game. Before the 1939 you mainly focused to industrialize your country, make your cultural revolution, of course, strong up your navy and army and decide on the fate of Mexico, and maybe even wage war with them. Most likely wage war with them. Who cares about the boring stuff, of course, in the Hearts of Iron 4. Alright, and to complement this focus tree there are a number of custom events. At this point it's around 30 as I remember. And there are a lot of them in the early game to entertain you in the rather boring game starts. And of course the country have number of custom decisions, number of resource decisions and number of political decisions, and just fun decisions like Federation Football Cup that can replace the non-existent FIFA World Cup in 1942. Alright, and of course you start with a rather weak manpower, like 8 million, even less. But later when you actually conquer Mexico or integrate them, you can really integrate them with the courts, because they are Spaniard, Latin, whatever people. They are part of one, not kinda culture, but region. They have the same goals, come on. Alright, so this is basic idea about this modification. You start with a rather weak regional power, which can kinda compete with the Mexico. You compete with them, win and go to the big game politics. So that's it. thank you for the watching this introductory video. I hope you will enjoy the modification and leave some comments down below in the Steam workshop. So have a pleasant day.